Oh gosh, that's a lot. Sorry.
Get your books open. Tell them what song number.
779.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
Are you ready for some football?
Everybody getting prepared for Resurrection Sunday?
Here, Nate. Let me hold you.
Why is he not?
No.
We got, you'll be preaching Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
And Sunday night, we're gonna be showing. I know.
6:30.
I don't care if you're crippled. It's mine.
Okay. Next Thursday night. Don't forget that. That's the 2nd, correct? 2nd of April. What time is that going to be?
I'm gonna say 6:30.
We
Okay.
have women's
I
Bible
lied.
study at 8.
Nice. Nice one, Ellen.
No.
Do you do fire?
Way to remind us.
That's
Heck yeah.
We'll announce the time.
Okay.
Can I announce the time?
But maybe you guys can extend your class a week.
No. I won't do that.
I will come up with the time. And then don't forget to be inviting people. Resurrection Sunday morning. I'd like to have a full church there. Anything else Sunday night? Let's see. Next Wednesday night, we know what the meal is yet? Next Wednesday. Sweet. That means pizza. All right.
What day is Easter?
What day is Easter? Really?
Huh?
Bobby.
Please say you mean what date is Easter and not what day is Easter.
It's on
I know it's on a Sunday. I know it's on a Sunday. But I don't know which
All right.
Sunday.
I was a word there perhaps.
Sunday next Tuesday.
I know it's on Sunday. Okay.
I'm like, I hope it means the date and not the day.
I know what day it's on.
You said the day.
All right,
I did
so
say the day. I'm not doubting that. I'm just
it's
saying
fourth.
it's the 4th.
So
Okay.
it's not this Sunday. It's
Next
the following Sunday. Correct.
Easter's next Sunday.
All right. What page number is it, guys?
779. Whoa. Once again, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to get that close.
There's people at home now turning
I want to do this, but not this.
779. Everybody want to stand up? Y'all ready?
So I'm glad morning and this life is on. I'll fly to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning. I'll fly away in the shadows of till like a bird from prison bars and snow. Shall gather over on the other shore, and the roll is calling yonder on the there. And the roll is calling yonder, and the roll is calling yonder, and the roll is calling yonder, when the roll is calling yonder, I'll be there. On that morning, cloudless morning, when the dead in Christ shall rise, in the glory of resurrection share. When His chosen ones shall gather to their home beyond the skies, and the roll is calling yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is calling yonder, when the roll is calling yonder, when the roll is calling yonder.
Morning, then the Bible isn't true. you know. And so Easter really means a lot to me, and so together. So if anything's wrong on it, you can blame John.
And the website I copied it from.
Yeah.
It's been fact checked.
Okay.
Know most of these.
Okay.
And if you don't know the exact answer, you're gonna pretty much know the general
Yes.
gist of it. Thank you, gist of it. That's a good word, gist.
I like it.
Gist. General gist of it.
All right. So I'll read you this. It says, Christians celebrate the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's also called, does anybody know?
Easter.
What's this week? What's the name for the week?
Passion.
Yeah. that's-
Passion. Customary for a king going to war. To king was at peace, he would write a document of peace between God and man. And so, who has a Bible? Anybody got a Bible or a phone?
Yeah.
A phone? Yeah. No. Okay. All right. Well, get your Bible out.
Okay, but I do have it on my phone.
Matthew 21.
Matthew slang, and it's so pretty.
Let Felix read it to you.
Okay, are we gonna be able to hear it?
Yes, I got it.
I gotta make my own.
What is the,
21, 1 through 7. Book of Matthew.
Bible, the book of Matthew? What'd you say?
21:1.
Matthew.
Oh, you have to be awful patient with this, Felix, don't you?
Yeah.
It's worth it. Okay.
What? You sure it's not Fabio? Is it Felix?
Okay, listen. All right, here's Felix. Sorry, I got the wrong chapter.
Isaac, the father of Jacob, and Jacob, the father of Judah.
Yeah.
That'd be Matthew 1, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's Matthew 1.
Yeah, I
That's
just
okay,
don't.
New Testament chapter 21.
I'm Judah, Abigail, Berta.
Oh, it starts at the beginning of it, so I can't get it to.
Jesus said to his disciples, saying to them, go into the village in front of you, and immediately
Anyway, I don't even know what verses you wanted read now.
Can you read 1 through 7 there, Ashley?
Okay. As they approached Jerusalem and came to Bethphage, is that how you say that?
Yep.
Okay. On the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent 2 disciples, saying to them, go to the village ahead of you, and at once you will find a donkey tied there, with her colt by her. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says anything to you, say that the Lord needs them, and he will send them right away. This took place to fulfill what was spoken through the prophet. Say to the daughter of Zion, see, your king comes to you, gentle and riding on a donkey, and on a colt, the foal of a donkey. The disciples went and did as Jesus had instructed them. They brought the donkey and the colt and placed their cloaks on them for Jesus to sit on. That's 7, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. All right. Is it y'all? I think is it this side? All right. Why is the Sunday before Resurrection Sunday called Palm Sunday?
Because that's when he came in.
They triumphant leaves and their jacket.
Yep.
Coats.
Singing.
That is right.
What the
Why are they
Bible says.
singing?
Yeah. What do the palms mean? Yeah. What do the palms mean? Anybody know?
Were the palms were the palms the sign that they, was that the sign that they thought that it was like their, like the king?
Had to do with peace, didn't it?
I believe so.
Peace, okay.
Yep.
So it's the men against the lady.
Into Jerusalem at the beginning of Passion Week, the people welcomed him as King and Messiah, and they covered the road with their garments and palm leaves as a symbol of their worship. And Matthew 21, verse 8, it says, and a very great multitude spread their garments in the way and cut down branches from the trees and strawed them in the way. So that's our triumphant entry of Jesus going in to Jerusalem at Passion Week. Which disciple Oh, this is an easy one.
It's our turn, right?
I think so, yeah. Which disciple cut off the ear of the high priest servant in attempt to protect Jesus from being taken as a prisoner? Peter.
Man.
What did Jesus do after he cut off his ear? He healed it.
Oh, but first he kind of scolded Peter.
Yeah, so what did he tell Peter?
He reprimanded.
Peter,
Yeah.
this ain't how this is going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he told Peter a phrase. Does anybody know the phrase? If you live, yep. If you live by the sword, you'll die by the sword. Yep.
Oh, see, now y'all get a good question now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe Caleb preached on this last Sunday night. He gave this particular name.
Okay, shoot.
Well, I mean, I don't think you have to be a Bible scholar to get this one, but how many times did Peter deny Christ?
Tres.
Yep, trice.
Uno, dos,
I
tres.
thought it asked what the name of the guy whose ear got cut off was.
Mm.
Oh.
No, I didn't have that one on
Do
here.
y'all know that one? Caleb did mention it. Malchus.
Malchus. Malchus.
M-A-L-C.
I know what that man felt like.
He was like the brother of one of the high priests.
He went to
Oh, so
He's
he
servant of one of the high
Peter
priests.
So he wasn't a guard then. He wasn't
No.
a security.
Jesus heals
So
him.
he's like,
He was-
Then they gotta haul him in.
Connected with fair. He was
You know
a
what I'm
brother
saying?
or a cousin or something of one of the big wigs
Pretty like-
that was there. Malchus.
Yeah, and you know you have to wonder the test, or at least I wonder, what went through that guy's mind, because here they are arresting Jesus to his death, and he's just healed him.
Yeah.
Something to ponder. Yeah. Yeah. So, how many pieces of silver did Judas trade for the life of Jesus? Is it them?
Yeah,
Them.
You're the numbers guy, William.
30 pieces of silver. Yep. 30. Matthew 26:15.
They counted out for him 30 people.
Mm. I think it's y'all. Yeah, we'll go with y'all. The women. All right. Who was surprisingly released before Pilate sentenced Jesus to death? Barabbas. Yeah, Barabbas. Somebody read Mark 15. Anybody got their Bible?
B.A. Barabbas. I pity the fool.
Did you say Mark 15?
Yep, Mark 15.
Just one?
Mark 15:6 through 15.
Actually, they
Now,
call
it was
his
the
name.
custom at the festival to release a prisoner whom the people requested. A man called Barabbas was in prison with the insurrectionists
Insurrectionist.
who had committed murder in the uprising. The crowd came up and asked Pilate to do for them what he usually did. Do you want me to release to you the king of the Jews? Asked Pilate, knowing it was out of self-interest that the chief priests had handed Jesus over to him. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have Pilate release Barabbas instead. What shall I do then with the one you call the king of the Jews? Pilate asked them. Crucify him, they shouted. Why? What crime has he committed? Asked Pilate. But they shouted all the louder, Crucify him. Wanting to satisfy the crowd, Pilate released Barabbas to them. He had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified.
Yep.
Did you say through 16?
Yeah, 15.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. So after Barabbas, after Barabbas is released, what did Pilate's wife counsel Pilate to do concerning Jesus?
What was your question? What did
Don't you mess with this man.
That's right.
And why?
Because there's nothing wrong with this man. She had a dream that said, don't mess with this man.
That's right. So it says in
She
verse,
said, I won't cook your favorite meal if you mess with this man. Don't mess with this man.
yep.
Blood
Verse
will be on your hands, my husband.
Verse 19 in Matthew 27 says, when he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife, Pilate's wife, sent unto him, saying, have thou nothing to do with that just man, for I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. And so Pilate's wife did, I think she sort of knew, I don't know if she was completely revealed unto what was going on, but she knew that there's something different about this guy, you know.
And in a manly type fashion, he completely ignored his wife's
That's right.
counsel.
You know, and I don't think this is one of the questions, but Pilate, of course, I'm no history buff or scholar or anything like that, but the Romans, I mean, they ruled with a iron fist. You know, they was toughest of the tough, and Pilate was, from what I've studied and what I've looked at, you know, Pilate was trying to keep a riot from happening and taking place. And two, you know, he's trying to impress his leaders. And so he was placed there, and he didn't want upper management come and take him out, you know. And so he was trying to keep things on the level. And
It was kind of like how the prison guards, if they lost control of the prison or the prisoners, then they had to take the place of the prisoner. And if the prisoner was to be put to death, then they would have to be put to death. The prisoner was going to serve 10 years. That's why when the earthquake happened and Paul and Barnabas walked out of the prison, and the guard was going to kill himself because he knew what was coming if these guys got away. And so it's kind of like the same thing with those leaders. If something bad happened, you took the heat for it because you were in charge. It was under your watch.
yeah, you know, and so I can imagine Pilate maybe even wanting to listen to his wife, but he looks out and sees a multitude, and he's like, you know, I've got to keep this under control, which doesn't excuse it, I don't guess, but I can see his logic behind it. A man named Simon was compelled to carry what for Jesus? The cross. In Mark 15, we're told the names of Simon's two sons. What were their names? Yeah, you're like, yep, that one's for them.
One of them was named, it's one of those weird names, like it's almost like Doofus or something like that. Rufus? Is it Rufus?
Rufus.
Rufus.
Yeah, Rufus is one of them.
And
It's a little more common.
Felix?
He's a brother-in-law.
Yeah, well, no, not that, John.
Phoned a friend.
Yeah, y'all go ahead and be pulling up Mark
Rufus
and Mark 15.
Alexander?
Yeah.
Rufus and Alexander.
Yep, that's it. Rufus and Alexander.
Could it be potentially Alexander?
Yeah,
We got
Rufus and Alexander.
Yeah, but you had your book open.
No, I never know what the score is. Never.
No, I ain't about the score.
All right, this one's for y'all. What does the Bible say that the inscription that was written above Jesus's cross was?
Yeah. Are you wanting was it Latin, or you want that, or you just want?
Nah, just well, tell me this. There was how many languages? How many languages? 3. Okay. And what were the languages?
Hebrew, Latin, and Greek.
Hebrew, Latin, and Greek. Now, what in our Bible does it say that the inscription was? Yes. Yes, partly. Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. Yep.
And the Hebrew was probably more Aramaic than it was Hebrew, but
Mhm.
that would have been the local.
This is still Pilate trying to remain in control, like, walking.
Well, the reason they wrote it in the three languages was because crucifixions were public displays.
Right.
So a crowd of people would show up and they might be of a different language. So they put it in all, it's kind of like putting a sign up in Spanish and English at a workplace. Same kind of
Hey,
thing.
just a fun
Yeah.
fact, you know that there was like that year, there was like 30,000 crucifixions that Roman enforced on that. So it is kind of interesting that, that why does this one stand out so
Yeah.
much?
Right.
That people don't realize that at one time there's a different text. The heel was just covered with crosses, just where it's so common.
Right.
So
Yeah, there might have been hundreds of them going on that same
yeah,
day.
the same day. And it's just that's one. A lot of people don't know that. Everybody kind of thinks this is just one big, but this was a
Like
very,
one
very
person
common.
got crucified.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is,
Well, the three. but-
and also the common of Jesus was a common name back then. So this was why did this one stand out?
Well, I mean, the Bible tells us, what happened whenever he was crucified, whenever he said it's finished,
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
earthquake,
earthquake.
just the Bible tells us there's all kinds of things that happened. And so that's, the beginning of this sanctification of that, the setting apart of Jesus's death, I think. All right. Is this y'all? Thank you. All right. All right. Before I ask the question, it's about the statements that Jesus made while he was on the cross. It's a little bit harder. Yeah. Yeah. So how many were they? How many times did Jesus speak according to the Gospels on the cross?
That was-
Seven.
7 statements.
Yeah.
7 statements.
Perfect number.
A little bit, yeah. She's trying to figure out how to get up here.
All right. So somebody give me one of the statements. All right.
Very good, William. I thirst.
I thirst.
Forgive them, Father, and they don't know what they do.
But they don't know what they do.
That's right. So all right. Yep. So it says, Nathan's in Luke 23:43, verily I say unto thee, today thou shalt be with me in paradise. William said, it is finished, right? That's John 19:30. I thirst. John 19:28.
Then there's the one where he tells John to take care of his mother. This is your mother now.
Right.
And then he says, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?
Eloi, Sabbathon.
Yep.
Two more. Right? Or are they kind of blended together?
I'm trying to read here. I think I know there's one of them that y'all hadn't said.
Is it the one where he proclaims like I? That was actually at the trial.
Yeah, why hast thou forsaken me? That's in there.
All right. Maybe that's the one I was missing. I'll read through these and you tell me if you've got them or not. Verily I say unto thee, thou shalt be with me in paradise. We got that. He saith unto his mother, woman, behold thy son. I heard John say that, I think. Then saith to the disciple, behold thy mother. And that was to John. And John, I think John was the one that said this, Eli.
Eloi, Sabbathon.
Yep. I'm glad you can pronounce that. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? I thirst, it is finished. And Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit.
That's the one, yeah.
Yep. That is Luke
He gave up the.
23:46.
He just
He
did
attacked
it.
it, yeah.
And another,
But that's the most important one, probably all of them. Because that shows that he.
he
They
had,
weren't killing him. Even though he was dying on that cross, he was the one that decided, now it's over. Now it's
Yeah,
done.
now-
Now I commend myself to you.
they showed that he had power over
Right.
death, He commended his spirit. It says,
Young to be usher?
Yeah, we got a new usher up
You're
here.
starting the ushers young now, huh?
Yeah. The veil in the temple was torn from top to bottom, Matthew 27:51, and we call this the access to God, the priesthood of the believer. This means that Christians can approach what? What? God's throne. God's throne. That's right. Through prayer without the need of a human mediator or priest, because the veil was torn from the top to bottom. It's symbolic that that God who grants us access, and not that we have worked our way into God's throne room. You know, so really thankful for that.
Pretty major cost.
So when Jesus died, what was the first thing that we see that happened whenever Jesus died?
It was
The-
black.
The darkness. The darkness.
No, it actually been dark already.
For 3 hours. Yeah, for 3 hours.
Earthquake.
God left us.
Who, let me see. Who was the two men that helped prepare the body of Jesus for his burial?
Joseph, Arimathea, and Nicodemus.
That's right. Who was the first person to see the risen Christ?
Martha, Mary.
Martha was
Mary.
busy cooking.
She was cooking, I forgot.
She was cooking
It was that
breakfast.
day.
It was Sunday morning. She was cooking breakfast.
It was Mary.
She was not at the tomb.
She was tight.
She was cooking.
Yep.
Yeah. She's like, "Where's Mary?
Mary's not.
I need
She's
help
out
in the kitchen.
again.
Where's Mary? Tell her to get back from the tomb, would you? Busy here."
Hey, you know, it's funny to look at the two personalities of Martha and Mary. You know, even in the story whenever Jesus was, whose child is this?
Somebody needs to get their kids out.
Oh, I was supposed to be helping watch her, wasn't I? Oh, that's right. You said if you'll watch the baby, I'll do
No,
it.
seriously, she's been really good.
She's been great.
She's been really good. Let her be.
She's fine. I really want her to be strong down.
And I was probably his son.
Oh, it's a great place to be.
But that's all we got for our Easter Bible
That's
trivia.
all the questions.
That's all the questions.
She might have one of these
We'll
babies
come up
as
some
a
more.
surprise.
It is awesome.
That's what they
This
used
is
to
what,
say.
this is
I got a
our
surprise for you.
Yeah, you know,
And
You
you
got
got
us a surprise.
maybe.
well, Jenny, you was the one watching her, so.
Okay, so here's a few that aren't on the paper.
Okay.
So after crucifixion and after the empty tomb, there was two dudes walking down the trail. Where were they headed?
After the crucifixion and after the empty tomb.
After the empty tomb, after the resurrection,
Two guys.
there was a couple of guys, and their stories featured in the Bible, that were walking somewhere,
Paul wanted to match.
John,
and there was two of them.
Peter. Let's see,
No.
one of them was faster than the other.
No, that's the run into the tomb after Mary came back and said Jesus isn't there, and they went running. And John made sure that he said he was first. No, there was after that, there was two guys walking somewhere, and Jesus actually went into their midst and met them while they were walking and walked with them for a while. But where were they headed?
They didn't recognize him, did they?
They didn't recognize him until after he broke bread with them, and then they recognized him.
Oh, gosh.
But where were they headed? The road to,
Damascus.
no, that's where Paul was headed.
Give us another hint. What's it start with?
E,
What book is this?
Emmaus.
Acts.
The two men on the road to Emmaus.
I don't remember.
And then Jesus caught up with them. And what they were saying was, oh, did you hear about the resurrection? And he was supposed to be risen.
You check me on it,
Nobody could find him.
but I think
What are
so.
we going to do now? We thought he was going to come and defeat the Romans, and we're still under
Got more
subjection.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so Jesus started giving them scripture. And he basically gave them the world's greatest Bible study lesson. And they walked for hours. And when they stopped, they said, break bread with us. And so he did. And when they broke bread with him, that's when they realized it, and he disappeared. He was gone. And they looked at each other and went, oh,
That was him.
that was him. Guess who we just ate dinner with? How did we not know while we were walking with him? And then they're the ones that ran and told the disciples. And that's the ones that went in the upper room and said to the disciples, we just ran into Jesus.
Did they have
He just
names?
risen. I don't know if the Bible gives their names.
Thomas was the doubter.
Well, Thomas was in the upper room with the rest of the disciples.
He
But
wasn't
he wasn't there
there.
that first
He
time.
wasn't there the first time.
And that's when they said, Thomas, we saw Jesus resurrected. He said, no.
I will have to see it, and I have to stick my hand in it.
But I don't know if they get the name of the two guys.
I don't know.
All right,
Wow.
I'll find out.
While John's looking that one up, I'm going to back up for just a minute. I got another question for you. What was, and of course, there was many prophecies that was fulfilled with Jesus dying on the cross, right? But specifically, whenever he was crucified, it says that this prophecy was fulfilled. And from my understanding, by the Roman guards that was sitting at the foot of the cross. What was that prophecy that they fulfilled?
Was it that where they
Don't we
would
stab him in
not
the
break
side?
his legs?
No.
They cast lots for his garment.
Casting lots. Yep, casting lots. It says in 35 of Matthew 27, and they crucified him, parting his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. And it says, and sitting down, they watched him there.
I think there was
But-
also prophecy about his bone.
Yeah, there was prophecy
That is
about
right.
his legs, about his bone, no bone broken.
No bones broken, because it was common for their legs to be broken, so they could hurry up and die.
You know why? It made him die quicker?
Suffocation.
Because they couldn't,
They hold themselves
their
up.
lungs had collapsed their lungs.
They
Yeah.
drowned in their own lungs or something, right?
Well, then
I thought-
lungs can't expand when you're hanging by your arms. I mean, you're trying to take an inspiration and you can't.
Yeah, I thought, from my understanding, which Ashley's the nurse, it was more of a suffocation than it was a,
Yeah.
you know.
And usually they would have stayed up on that cross for several days and it'd been a spectacle. But it was the Passover and he was Jewish, so they had to get him down by nightfall so they could take care of the body.
The other three have been up there for a while. But they did beat him a little. I think they beat him a little worse.
Down. And I really did not realize that.
You know?
The disciples were.
Right. Yeah, right. And
Sunday we'll learn when he died on the cross for us, and the next Sunday, Pastor Mike is going to